If you love plants, you've definitely seen them. You're scrolling online, and boom, there it is. A picture of a stunning, rare, variegated plant with a price tag that seems way too good to be true. A chance to grow a masterpiece from a seed that costs less than your morning coffee. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this whole world and get to the bottom of the great plant scam. And yeah, that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You see a beautiful, mature Monstera albo selling for hundreds, and then right next to it, a little packet of seeds for $5. So what's the deal? Is this some secret hack for plant collectors? Or is something fishy going on? Let's find out. I mean, these listings are just everywhere, right? They use these absolutely breathtaking photos, and they promise you the plant of your dreams for practically nothing. It's so smart because it taps right into that desire we all have to own something beautiful and rare without, remortgaging the house. It's a super tempting picture, but we need to look a lot closer. Because here's the thing. When you take the promises from these online sellers and you put them up against the cold, hard facts of plant genetics, the whole story just completely falls apart. There's a huge conflict between what they're selling you and what is actually scientifically possible. Okay, let's dive right in. The first thing we need to talk about is the most powerful tool these scammers have, the price. Honestly, it's the first and biggest clue that something is just not right. So just look at the massive gap here. A legit, rooted plant can easily set you back $150, maybe more, because they are not easy to propagate. An unrooted cutting, which is a bit of a gamble, is still going to be around $75. And then you have the seeds for $5. You see that huge price difference isn't a bargain. It's a giant flashing warning sign. The price is that low because the product is not what they say it is. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just an opinion. The expert consensus from actual plant geneticists and professional horticulturists is unanimous. For these super sought-after variegated plants, growing them from seed is either flat out impossible or so ridiculously unpredictable that no legitimate seller would ever guarantee it. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's dig into the science that makes these seed promises a biological myth. The secret, as you're about to see, is hidden deep inside the plant's own cells. The word you need to know is chimera. The most incredible variegated plants, the Monstera albo, for example, they're chimeras. The easiest way to think about it is like having two different plants fused together into one. You've got one set of cells that can make chlorophyll, so it's green, and another set that can't, so it's white. That beautiful variation is literally two different sets of DNA living side by side. And here is the problem. That amazing white and green pattern, it's basically only skin deep. It exists in the outer layers of the plant's cells. But the part of the plant that actually makes the seeds, that comes from the genetically stable all-green core tissue deep inside. The variegation just gets left behind. And this table just lays it all out perfectly. Check out the different ways variegation happens. See that top one, chimeral? That's our Monstera albo. Now look at the seed reliability. It's basically zero. Cytoplasmic is also super unstable. The only one that's kind of reliable is nuclear variegation, which is the exception, not the rule. Scammers sell you the dream of a chimera, but the science just doesn't work that way. So here's the bottom line, the big mythbuster. You could take a seed from the most incredible, expensive, variegated Monstera on the planet. You could plant it, care for it for months, and what are you going to get? A plain, healthy, but totally green Monstera. The genetics of a chimera just don't let that beautiful pattern pass down through seeds. So if the science is so crystal clear, how on earth does this scam keep working on so many people? Well, let's break down the surprisingly simple but very effective business model behind the fraud. The whole scam really boils down to two things: low cost and time. These scammers buy thousands and thousands of super cheap common seeds. We're talking radish seeds, basil seeds, for pennies. They slap a stolen or AI-generated photo on a flashy listing and sell these little packets for a few bucks a pop. And here's the genius part. By the time your little green sprout grows up and you realize it's not a Monstera, months have passed. The seller is long gone with your money. So, what are people actually getting in the mail? Well, most of the time, it's a total bait and switch. You might get vegetable seeds or maybe seeds for a totally different, boring green plant. Some sellers even dye the seeds bright blue or pink to make them look more exotic. But sometimes, the deception can be a lot more dangerous than just being disappointed. And this is where things go from simple fraud to a legitimate biosecurity threat. The USDA, when they were investigating all those mystery seed packages a while back, found that some of them contain noxious weeds. We're talking about invasive species that can absolutely destroy local ecosystems. And one of the most alarming things they found was a parasite called Dodder. Now, Dodder is not your average weed. This thing is a real-life plant vampire. It can't live on its own. It sprouts, latches onto another plant, and literally sucks the life out of it. Introducing something like that into your garden, or even worse, your local environment, could be devastating. It goes way beyond just losing a few dollars on fake seeds. Okay, now that you know the science and the serious risks, it's time to build your defense. Let's go through the key red flags that will help you spot these scams from a mile away. First off, just trust your eyes. Do the photos look weirdly perfect, like not a single blemish? That's a huge sign of an AI-generated image. Look for crazy colors. There's no such thing as a naturally blue Monstera. Blurry backgrounds? That's often a trick to hide that they stole the image. And if you see the exact same photo, just with different color filters, selling a blue one, a pink one, a rainbow one, just run. Next, actually read the description. Real sellers use precise botanical names, like Monstera deliciosa Thai constellation. Scammers use vague, fluffy buzzwords like super rare hybrid. And sometimes the ad copy is just plain bizarre, usually from a bad translation app, with phrases you'd never see, like seeds that are resistant to poverty. But listen, if you remember only one thing from all of this, let it be this. This is the ultimate red flag. If you see a listing for a plant that is a known chimera, like a Monstera albo, and it is being sold only as a seed, it is a 100% guaranteed, no questions asked scam. Period. It is scientifically impossible. Okay, enough about the fakes. Let's shift gears and focus on the right way to get that plant you've been dreaming of, so you can make an investment that's safe, secure, and will actually turn into something beautiful. It really comes down to these 3 simple steps. First, do your homework. Buy from a reputable nursery or a seller who has a long track record of happy customers. Second, always make sure you're buying a plant with its full, correct botanical name. And third, this is the big one. Invest your money in the real thing, a cutting, a fully rooted plant, or maybe a plantlet from tissue culture, not seeds. In this slide just sums it all up perfectly. Buying seeds for a plant like this is a genetic lottery, and it's a lottery you are almost guaranteed to lose. But buying a cutting? That's buying a genetic clone. It's the only way to be absolutely sure that the beautiful variegation from the parent plant is preserved in your new one. In the end, that rare plant you're dreaming about is more than just a plant, right? It's an investment of your time, your hope, and your hard-earned money. Knowing the science behind the scam isn't just about avoiding fake seeds. It's about protecting that investment and making sure your passion for plants helps you grow something real.